The sun rose over a small town that seemed ordinary, peaceful, untouched by heartbreak. But beneath the calm, a storm was quietly brewing, one that would leave an entire wedding in stunned silence. Outside a grand hotel, white roses lined the steps, and a sleek black limousine waited patiently. Guests arrived in shimmering dresses and polished suits, laughing, chatting, and taking photos. Everything seemed perfect, until one envelope threatened to rewrite the entire day. Emma, a woman once abandoned and humiliated, was stepping into the world that had tried to belittle her. She did not arrive timid, broken, or crying. She arrived radiant, confident, and accompanied by 3 daughters, girls she had raised alone, who were living proof of her strength, her love, and her unwavering determination. Her ex-husband, Daniel, had sent the invitation not out of kindness, but spite. He imagined her arriving in cheap clothes, overwhelmed by the opulence he believed proved his superiority. But he could not have foreseen the truth. Emma was no longer a victim. She had endured heartbreak, sleepless nights, and years of struggle, only to rise with a grace and strength that no wealth could overshadow. As she stepped onto the red carpet, heads turned. Whispers spread. The proud groom's smirk faltered, his bride's smile stiffened. Emma's presence, calm yet commanding, stole the spotlight. No diamonds, no dresses, no wedding ceremony could outshine the story she carried, one of courage, dignity, and the triumph of a mother who had survived everything life threw at her. This was not revenge. This was transformation. And as cameras clicked and guests watched in awe, one thing became clear: life, when lived with integrity and love, always has a way of turning the tables on cruelty. The morning air was warm, carrying the faint scent of roses and freshly baked pastries from the hotel cafe. Guests mingled, clinking glasses of champagne and laughing at the sparkling promise of a perfect wedding day. Daniel, the groom, stood tall in his crisp white tuxedo, a smug smile plastered across his face as he basked in the admiration of his friends. Beside him, Sophia, radiant in her fitted gown, glowed under the flashes of cameras, completely unaware of the storm approaching. For Daniel, this wedding was more than a celebration of love. It was a monument to his ego, a demonstration of how far he had climbed from his past. He had invited Emma not out of courtesy, but because he wanted her to witness his real happily ever after, a chance to feel small, forgotten, and irrelevant. He envisioned her arrival, timid and unremarkable, a stark reminder of everything he had left behind. What Daniel could never have imagined was how much Emma had changed. Years earlier, Emma had been young and devoted, falling in love with Daniel despite the doubts of friends and family. She had poured her heart, her energy, and even her meager savings into building a life together. While Daniel pursued his ambitions, Emma worked tirelessly, taking on extra shifts as a waitress, cleaning houses at night, skipping meals to ensure he had what he needed to succeed. She believed in him more than she believed in herself, but when wealth and recognition finally touched Daniel's hands, his love evaporated. Money replaced gratitude, and instead of honoring Emma's loyalty, he saw her as a burden, a relic of the struggles he wanted to forget. Without warning, he filed for divorce, leaving Emma with nothing but a rundown apartment and an old car. Heartbroken, she discovered weeks later that she was pregnant, not with one child, but with triplets. Fear and despair threatened to crush her, yet in that moment, Emma made a choice: she would survive, not for herself, but for the 3 little lives that depended on her. The following years were grueling. Days blurred into nights as Emma juggled 2 jobs, often carrying crying infants in her arms, feeling exhaustion claw at her bones. There were moments she wanted to give up, moments she questioned her ability to endure. But she persevered, driven by love, determination, and an inner fire that no adversity could extinguish. As her daughters grew, so did Emma's resilience. She secured a job at a small design studio, where her talent and creativity earned recognition. Slowly, her dream took shape: a boutique of her own, a business built on passion, hard work, and perseverance. Emma did not flaunt her success, she simply lived it quietly, raising her daughters to be confident, kind, and unafraid of challenges. They were her greatest achievement, her living proof that love and courage mattered more than money or status. When the wedding invitation arrived, Emma felt a pang of old memories, shame, betrayal, and humiliation. For a moment, she considered ignoring it. But then she remembered the lessons she had fought to instill in her daughters, that no one had the right to define their worth. This was not about revenge. This was about dignity. And so, Emma accepted. The limousine arrived, sleek and black, reflecting the golden morning sunlight. As the doors opened, 3 little girls emerged first, hand in hand, their matching yellow dresses bright as sunlight itself. Their curls bounced with every confident step, their eyes sparkling with innocence and pride. Behind them, Emma stepped out, her deep green gown hugging her figure gracefully, her face radiant, her expression calm and commanding. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Daniel froze, his carefully constructed ego cracking for the first time. Sophia's smile faltered as she realized the competition she hadn't anticipated was not a dress, a hairstyle, or a smile. It was Emma herself, standing tall, whole, and victorious. Guests whispered among themselves, some in awe, some in apology for ever believing Daniel's cruel stories. The triplets giggled, running up to embrace their mother, melting hearts with their innocence. Emma held their hands, walking steadily towards the entrance, the red carpet rolling beneath her as if bowing to her strength. Daniel's face went pale. His mind raced. This was not the woman he had left behind. This was someone he had underestimated, someone who had turned heartbreak into purpose, abandonment into power. And while he had tried to project superiority, it was now painfully clear who had truly succeeded in life. The ceremony went on, but the energy had shifted. Emma did not speak, did not seek to disrupt or embarrass. Her presence alone was enough. It was a testament to survival, to motherhood, to rising above cruelty with grace. The wedding continued around her, but every eye kept darting back to Emma and her daughters. They were living proof that wealth and status were nothing compared to love, perseverance, and dignity. By the end of the day, photographs captured the unforgettable moment, Emma stepping from the limousine, her daughters by her side, her head held high, and Daniel's face etched with shock. It was a moment that would be remembered not for the vows, the flowers, or the bride's gown, but for the woman who had endured and emerged stronger than anyone could imagine. In the weeks that followed, whispers spread through the town. Daniel's arrogance was exposed, people began questioning his character. Meanwhile, Emma's boutique flourished, drawing customers inspired by her story, not just her designs. Her daughters grew up understanding their mother's worth, not defined by cruelty, but by the love and resilience that shaped her life. Emma herself found peace. She realized that her pain had not defined her, it had refined her. She had transformed heartache into purpose, struggle into strength, and abandonment into triumph. And she knew that the true measure of success was not wealth or revenge, but love, dignity, and the courage to rise above life's cruelties. Her story became a quiet inspiration, proof that those who endure with grace often shine the brightest. And as she looked at her daughters, smiling, confident, and radiant, Emma knew she had done more than survive, she had conquered life itself.